play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring! Bob Stasnico gonna find Rainer!
Good evening and welcome everybody to the Nexus Gaming Series. Welcome, Conaputer. Appreciate you stopping by. Saw you there over at Mark Zombie's cast. Man, it does not bode well that I'm starting off already having trouble with words. But tonight we've got a heroic division semifinals matchup. It's the first of two for tonight. Murda RG gonna be showing us the Regen versus Anti-Clown Association game here in an hour. But right now we're gonna see Perfect Gems versus Archon. Let's take a quick look and see how did we get to this point. We'll actually come back to those brackets. So Perfect Gems, the #1 seed out of Heroic Division with 24 points, and Archon sitting there at number 4 with 18 points. So no real ties in this division. So that was nice and easy. You know, they just are where they are. But as I mentioned, let's look at these brackets. So in round 1, Perfect Gems basically they got a free victory. Phoenix Rising Topaz was not able to make it, so Perfect Gems moved on, getting essentially a 2-0. Archon, however, had a little bit of a bitter battle between themselves and Chicken Nuggets, taking the 2-1 victory there. Anti-Clown Association in the lower half of the bracket here defeated Sky5 2-0 and Regen over Rewind 2-1 there. Now, in the regular season, when these teams matched up, it was actually way back in the first week. Oh my goodness. Alright, sorry about that. Had to calm down the locals. But anyways, it was all the way back in the first week. December 2nd is when these teams faced off. And it was a 2-1 in favor of Perfect Gems at that point. So we'll see how this turns out tonight. For the map bans here, we've got Perfect Gems banning out Alterac Pass and Battlefield of Eternity, while Archon banned out Baraxis Holdout and Sky Temple. And the first pick is going to go over to Archon with, I'm sorry, the first map pick, rather, not first pick. That's going to go over to Archon, Tomb and Spider Queen. Thanks for the raid, Mega Killa. Appreciate it. And it looks like we're all set and ready to go. You love to see it. Everybody's pretty close to on time, so you know what? We're not waiting around. They're just hanging out. Do I have the right teams on the right side? Let's see. And this is first pick. Yes. Okay. Oh, and we just had adjustments being made here. Who knows what's going on? But hopefully soon we will. All right, there we go. You wanna say hi? Hey, you wanna come up here and say hi? All right, come on. There we go. Say hello. All right, so Tomb of the Spider Queen, a very rotation heavy map. Important to get those gems and build up for the objective. Thanks, Mega. It's gonna be Ana the first ban and Cho'Gall the second. Cho'Gall making quite the presence in the higher divisions, the heroic division, the Dives. Getting a lot of value out of those significant buffs that Cho's been receiving. Perfect Gem saying, you know what? We can do that too. And it's going to be Deathwing for Archon. So that's our first round of bans here. Ariel's still available, although with her recent nerfs, not quite as high of a priority for most teams. So we'll see if they look to change, possibly go into a different, like a Johanna. Johanna being a very powerful tank to begin with, but extra beneficial here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Again, she's got the AoE, she's got the quick rotations, and she can help others if she takes the right talents for that. But we're gonna get a Junkrat and Garrosh, and I really like that. The Junkrat can provide vision over the turn-in points. Garrosh can make use of that vision and can find himself quick picks. Maybe throw some players into a route somewhere, a steel trap. And it's gonna be Jimmy. Jimmy has risen in the priority here recently. He got a pretty significant bump. He was already a pretty high value hero to begin with, but then they added some more value to him. They said, you know what, our level 7 talents just, they don't feel impactful because you're always taking the same talent if you take Ace in the Hole. So they said, all right, we'll just give you another option here. But also Lucio, and Lucio again helps to enable those rotations. Can potentially even help a little bit with the Garrosh, since he can use that sound wave, I think it's called, to knock Garrosh back. But it also means that they can't take Lucio with Garrosh. Garrosh and Lucio getting that extra movement speed is no bueno into your team there. Gonna be Stukov. I like the Stukov, especially with the Garrosh. So you've got a trap, you get the silence, you get another silence from Stukov. Maybe they don't take the silence with the trap though, depending on what we see here. Averted is playing Rainer. All right. I think I've seen this Mephisto out of CPOG. Valimar is playing Yrel. All right. Had to get all the names set up because, you know, you never know who's playing until game time. And for the final pick, is it going to be like a Thrall or a... Okay, there you go. I was going to say some other hero that can help with some additional stun combination or a root combination that combos well with the Garrosh. Palpable disrespect, indeed. So let's see. When these teams faced off earlier, Archon had actually banned Tomb of the Spider Queen. Again, this was 2.5 months ago. They had also banned out Towers of Doom, which neither team banned that one out. This time instead, Sky Temple and Braxis were the bans for Archon. When they played, they didn't play at either of those games. And Perfect Gems had originally banned out Battlefield of Eternity and Sky Temple, so Sky Temple obviously switching sides, Battlefield of Eternity remaining the ban there. Alterac Pass was also not played, so there you go. But let's go ahead and put up our poll here. All right, who do you think wins this draft coming out of the gate? Is it gonna be Perfect Gems on the left there, or are we looking at the Archon? The fast rotations, Yrel's got quick rotations as well, doesn't need the Lucio. Or is it gonna be that blow up comp? Yeah, Virtuoso saying, yeah, exactly. All right, starting off with the #1 seed on the left. Again, Heroic Division. This is the top end of NGS. We've got Direk playing Johanna Cpog X on the Mephisto. Valimar on the Urel. Unaverted playing the Raynor. And Legacy there on the Lucio. And on the right, for Archon, the #4 seed, we've got Tythel on Sylvanas, Little Bex on Stukov, Midnight Haze playing the Junkrat, Fatal Rampage on the Rexar, and JTR going to be playing that Garrosh. Let me know if the game sounds, music, all that stuff is appropriate. I've made some slight adjustments to sound, so I'm not sure. I just want to make sure you guys can hear it, but that it's not too loud. Because I can't actually hear it. I have it turned off for me. At least from the other side's perspective. All right, Garrosh coming around from behind, but it's only Johanna up in the front, so he's just getting some ground breaker stacks there. 1 stack so far on his quest for Warbreaker. In addition, we've got the swoop quest, Birds of Prey, so allowing some additional wave clear here for Rexar. That should be pretty helpful against the Urel. She can do moderately decent wave clear by herself. It's going to be low blow for Stukov, so they want to get those people taken down and do as much damage as possible. Lucio getting thrown in, but is able to use that wall ride and push off to get right away, juking away from that groundbreaker stun. And it looks like many people voting for Archon, and by many I mean 1. We also have Unfurling Shadows, so Sylvanas getting that additional Shadow Dagger damage over time, and the, I don't remember the name of this, Blow him up. So whenever Junkrat can hit him with a trap or a concussion mine, he's going to get auto attack damage, which is great when Garrosh is going to throw them in. You want to get that blow up. Meanwhile, for Perfect Gems, Raynor going into that ace in the hole, as mentioned earlier. And baked into that talent now is that 25% slow. We've got the Dauntless for the physical armor reduction there. I guess physical armor boost from Urel. Hold Your Ground for the Iron Skin for Johanna. More shields more often. It's going to be smooth moves, giving extra mana and also a little bit of self-healing to the Lucio. And Mephisto going into Furious Spark, so additional damage with his Lightning Nova. So the Bruiser camp picked up here. Ultimately, both teams have them. But one side getting a little bit better. Legacy going to get thrown over by the Garrosh, and there's no wall right in the middle there. So he's going to be the first blood of the game. Johanna looking a little bit low here. Sylvanas trying to come in with the flank and maybe finish that off, but not quite able to do so. She's pretty sturdy, is Johanna, but not sturdy enough if she gets thrown. And that's 2 kills coming out from Archon. A few gems lost there. Johanna had 10 right there that she just lost. And of course, earlier Lucio had some as well. So they're about half behind Archon right now. As a reminder, with the semifinals, this is a best of 5. Lucio going to get thrown again, even with the wall ride. Just too slow from that pustule coming from the Stukov here. Fatal Rampage down in the bot lane, getting pretty low here. Low on mana, low on health. Misha's low on health. So Urel putting in the work there onto both Rexar and his companion. So there you go. And I agree, like, on paper, like, the Perfect Gems draft feels like it should be a little bit more valuable. So it's going to be up to Perfect Gems to not get picked off by Garrosh, which they've had happen a few times now. Level 7's up here for Archon. If they can avoid the pickoff, then I feel like they can win the game, but twice on Lucio, which ultimately also led to a Johanna kill, so something they're going to have to be mindful of. That said, once they get to level 10, the landscape of the game changes a little bit here. Seeing a bit of a rotation, obviously, to turn in these gems, but we might see them come down looking for this Urel as well, especially now that they got the turn-in. Sylvanas coming in is going to get Valimar brought down to about half. Looking for that stun. They get it from Misha, but Sylvanas is attacking a minion. Like, I don't know. Tythel, what you doing, buddy? I think that could have been a Urel kill with that stun from Misha. So maybe just a lack of communication there about being able to get that, perhaps. Red Web Weaver's coming out. And the lane cleared up a little bit here up top. A little bit of pressure there as well from Perfect Gems. They're, however, going to start with the mid Web Weaver. It's going to be brought under half. So this should fall pretty easily. And Johanna's already heading up looking for that next one. They realize that this is not going to get much structure damage at all at this point, and then time to work on this next wave. And there's a fair bit of minions here as well. And I like that Johanna actually ducked out of the way of the Web Weaver's wave. It's such a small thing, but you see so many heroes like this one right here, unaverted, standing right in that wave. And it's not insignificant. That's like 500 or 600 damage that just did. Lucio, however, getting rooted, is trying to make it out, but just cannot get there. Silence coming in, and now Mephisto trying to pop off, but Groundbreaker almost caught there. The concussion mine probably saves Garrosh. So good mine there from Junkrat, and it leads to a kill onto Mephisto. They're trying to maybe get the Raynor, but Raynor pulls back. Johanna there splitting the attention of Archon. So ultimately not a ton of value out of this first Web Weaver phase. You don't typically see tons. Tithal Brain AFK. Oh man. So not a ton of value here. One tower, the wall, you get the wall in mid, and then one tower on the wall top. So it's a good place for them to start, and they're pretty close to a second. There's the throw onto Urel. She does have the Avenging Wrath to get out, and making use of that Hand of Freedom, that level 4 talent, to get out of dodge quickly. And that's a pretty short cooldown as well, so slows don't matter, and you get a big burst of speed. That one right here. 35% movement speed for 3 seconds. Removes all slows and roots. So that's a pretty helpful talent, and you can use it on your allies as well as yourself. So it's a pseudo cleanse, and at level 4 gives them a lot of kind of counter to the fact that you've got a Stukov, you've got the Junkrat. What did we get out of Junkrat for his level 7, by the way? It is the Sticky Wicket, so it is going to be that silence. And I thought it might be. It makes a lot of sense with what we've got here. But in fact, I mean, then you can even throw a Johanna. Speaking of Johanna, coming in with the Blessed Shield, gonna pop off with Durance of Hate there, getting a couple of roots, indomitably used, throwing the Stukov out. Might not be enough. He is going to fall, and Garrosh there trying to zone out for the rest of the team. So it's just the one kill set up there by Johanna. D-Rack coming in with that Blessed Shield. And it's going to be Perfect Gems coming in with their Web Weavers now. We'll see if they can get a little bit more value. They've got level 10s. They also have a Bruiser camp in the mid lane. Urel coming in straight into the camp here. They're going to actually be able to take out the Sylvanas with the aggression and kind of the surprise moment there. So going to be able to pick up a second Bruiser camp. That's with that kill onto Garrosh as well. Mid lane is going to fall for sure. They may even be able to get a keep. They've got essentially double Bruiser camp here. They've got a Web Weaver. Urel just went away, and Johanna just got booped over the wall. They're looking for this sidewall now to get her out of there. She has the Iron Skin, so she's going to pop that, take a little bit less damage. And the Durance of Hate is going to land onto Rexar, but ultimately too far back to be able to get any follow-up damage. But with these res timers being so short, the throw there gets the minion as opposed to, I think it was Johanna in there. And now Garrosh brought extremely low here. Big root coming out as well as the Riptire, but the sound barrier just in time. The taunt not able to secure the kill, but they do eventually get that kill onto Mephisto. Johanna going to be the next one to fall. Garrosh being the counter kill here. Legacy trying to make it out, is getting a lot of damage coming from Junkrat, but Junkrat's got the Raider attacking him, so he's got to be a little careful himself. And Lucio popping off with that amp it up, getting Perfect Gems out of danger there. So they did get still pretty decent value out of this. Of course, with the Junkrat boop, half of this one Bruiser camp said, you know what, there's a wall up here. It's very important to take out this wall. You know what? Maybe it is. Maybe the Bruiser camp has the big brain play, right? Because Lucio might want to skate around through there. Maybe the Bruiser camps know things that we don't. Or maybe not. Mephisto is going to get the stall. And because of that, down in the bot lane, they're able to pick up the back-to-back web weavers here. So very strong. Perfect Gems coming back in. They were looking a little shaky to start the game, but they've actually put in a lot of work here. All 3 of the forts are down from their first objective, getting the kills at the right time and being effective about them. And both times now, in the last wave, it was the bruiser camp in the mid lane, 2, thanks to the assistance of Archon. But they've got a siege camp going in the bot lane now as well. So they're going to focus on mid, leave Rexar to get the bot lane, and see if they can't get this keep. Here comes the Riptire. Is going to land onto 3. Direct very far in here, looking for that slow onto Sylvanas, trying to see if she can't get any help on that. Lucio going to get booped away there. The Wailing Arrow coming in, landing onto just about everybody from Perfect Gems, but they're not too worried about it. There wasn't enough follow-up to really pressure them. But can they get the keep? They don't need much more, and they do. Bot lane has been cleared up here. Yrel is in the silence. The concussion mine just a moment too late. If that concussion mine was a quarter of a second earlier, I think Yrel gets booped into the team, and then she's in a very dangerous place. And we're going to see Perfect Gems disengage here, although they do have level 16 coming up. They don't have a lot of ultimates. Neither, however, does Archon. They've got the Warlord's Challenge. They've got Massive Shove. And with that level 16 now, Perfect Gems going to get started on this boss camp here. And we'll see. I mean, they're close enough. The question is, do they want to try to engage this, right? They do have the concussion mine from Junkrat. But it looks like they are pretty much just going to defend it. And I think that will likely turn into a keep in the top lane as well. For Perfect Gems going along with this boss. All right, let's see, just vision-wise, let's see what Perfect Gem sees. So they don't actually have any idea where Archon is. How about Archon? Archon is hard thing. They know that the boss is coming in, so they've got to defend it. And I think maybe they were thinking that they might come try to invade that bruiser camp. Here comes the Durance, is going to miss. The Riptire gonna land onto 3, but not before the boss will take out the keep. And the boss heading on to core. I'm not certain that Perfect Gems can end here, especially getting the 25 penalty to their armor there. So boss is gonna get cleared up before it gets any keep damage. So 41 out of the 60 gems now for Perfect Gems available. Archon's gonna maybe pick up their bruiser camp and then see if they can't get a turn in. But so is Perfect Gems. They're gonna have their bruiser camp as well. Not taking any chances. Keeping Misha here in this bush to make sure that if anybody comes through, they've got a quick stun. But the bruiser camp going out with both sides having it. You can see here, Perfect Gems, they know. They're waiting for it. So it's not going to provide a whole lot of benefit to Archon because now Perfect Gems can stall out these turn-ins pretty easily. What do we got for this one here? Animosity, so increasing the damage bonus there. Also the duration. And delaying the bruiser camp here meant that they could clean this up and ultimately make it very difficult for Archon to turn in now. They've got all of the vision, Perfect Gems do. And Archon's got to clear this up. They have no keep. So it effectively negates the bruiser camp that Archon had. And now we're on even again. And Perfect Gems, the longer this goes, the more likely they can get their gems turned in for yet another web weaver. Let's put those away here until 20. So with that globe, Rexar picking up the hunter-gatherer. So he's going to have 15 armor now for both him and Misha. Unfortunately, a little bit too late for Misha. Misha went to the graveyard. But it's Rexar. Rexar's got 43 gems. Junkrat has 32 gems. Either of these heroes could turn in and get themselves a web weaver. Tythel there, almost enough as well. Needs a couple more. So really, they just need one of 3 different heroes to turn in for Archon to be able to get a web weaver. Their lanes are super pushed up, though. All 3 of them up top in the bot lane, which they just cleared up here. And level 20s are coming up soon for Perfect Gems. Here come the boars, looking for their targets. They do land onto the Urel for the slow here. Again, she's got that hand of freedom, doesn't really worry about it. Durance of Fate gonna land onto the Stukov. He tries to hit that massive shove, missed, but it's gonna be Garrosh just getting deleted by the team. And now we do get the red web weavers, but is it too little too late? Sylvanas is gonna make it over the wall here. And with these lanes pushed up, oh my goodness. There went 34 gems, I think, from Junkrat. They should still have enough between, well, actually one of them turned in, so probably not. But with those 2 kills, Perfect Gem saying, you know what, we've got level 20s now. We don't care about your web weavers, they're here. I thought that was a Durance, but maybe not there. Misha's going to fall. D-Rec looking for the Sylvanas once again, just staying right up in the front there. Now it's Urel's turn, uses that unstoppable at level 20 here, allowing Raynor and Mephisto to do all the work onto the core, but Johanna gonna get taken out, and they might actually be able to defend this. Mephisto going to get thrown, taken out there. The taunt coming onto Urel, she's gonna pop that Ardent Defender. Rexar here is gonna have to use Feigned Death. Urel gonna get stunned by the Groundbreaker, pushes the Garrosh back with Righteous Hammer, and they're gonna get the kill onto Lucio as well, putting a lot of eggs into that core push, and ultimately not finishing the game, losing 4 of their heroes, and make it possibly 5 if Misha can just get that stun. She just missed. Can Garrosh get there? He does. Good night. Full team wipe on a fight that went all the way from Archon's core right to the keep wall of Perfect Gems, and Archon now working on their first keep of the game. Johanna's back up. Mephisto will be back up in 6 seconds, but that is not a lot to defend with here. But it looks like Archon not interested in making the same mistake. So they're gonna head to boss. They have enough for turn in. They could potentially get both. We do have level 20s available, by the way. And we've got 4. There's no Raynor for 15 seconds. And the question now becomes who wins this race? Can they defend this boss with a full team? Can they defend this boss with a full web weaver wave? As we see them turning it in. That said, we got 3 catapults over here. That's going to be taken out by the web weaver in the mid lane though, so it should be fine. We're going to get this boss coming out. And Archon is looking to end here. They want to do it with their minions, with the boss and with the web weaver. I think they were a little bit late on the, early on the boss timing. Gonna give a little bit of clear over here. Big stun from Garrosh. Oh, the Indomitable breaking the Durance of Hate there. So already 1 big ultimate used there. Riptire gonna bring down 2. Garrosh in the fray here. And we've got the kill command coming out, right, from Rexar? Yes, yes, with the root. So Mephisto coming in with that Lightning Nova, trying to get as much damage as he can out onto the heroes of Archon. Massive shove gonna shove Johanna out of the way. The boss is almost dead, but here comes the web weaver. The taunt going out, but Urel using Ardent Defender, so she's just fine. And JTR now getting very low, needs a Bloodthirst, can't quite do it. The core falling 60%. 50 Stukov falling now as well. They need to zone for these damage heroes, but it's not going to be enough. Junkrat, Sylvanas, now they've got Rexar in the core at 49%, 48%. And this time it's the red team that gets dominated on their core push. The web weaver is coming up, but I think they've done it. I think Perfect Gems is going to be able to just walk over here through the mid lane and finish off this core. But we'll have to wait and see. Virtuoso. Hashtag surprise! And I guess that's just, you know, honestly, I think that was just the timing. If they waited on that boss for another 5 seconds to send it out so that it comes along with the Web Weaver, then I think that the boss lasts for longer. And I think that that game very likely goes over to Archon, but it's all good. We've got GG coming up. It's going to be Perfect Gems taking game number 1. We need more of those big moments. Like that, those core defenses were fantastic. Absolutely just great. But then the only one problem is then when you defend your core and you go win the game, it's kind of anticlimactic. That it's just a minute of, all right, yeah, they're coming. Let's see, Virtuoso. They shouldn't have sent one back to core. Weavers are going to handle it. They gave 50% hit point for nothing. Yep. Yeah, like, you know, I think I said that, like you said, you know, those 3 catapults were going to be cleared by the Web Weaver as soon as they turned in, so it was no big deal. The only real potential threat would have been if Perfect Gems decided that they wanted to go for a core rush there, which I mean, I kind of thought they might. I didn't think that the defense was really feasible for them, but it worked out. It worked out because they were able to defend against the boss, get that finished earlier. And then they had, you know, all the time in the world to focus on the heroes before even the Web Weaver really showed up. So, Zook's troops, welcome. Hope you're enjoying the cast. And I think I showed both of these. I'll just in case, show the stats again. So very close, 12 kills to 12 kills. You know, the game kind of flip-flopped there between who was ahead, right? Early game, Archon had it. Mid game, to, you know, really for the most part, till almost the very end of the game was Perfect Gems, and then it was just who could wipe the other team, right? So Perfect Gems wiped at the core, and then you have Archon doing the same. So there you go. All right, looks like our next game is going to be taking place. Let me see whose selection this is. Okay, so switching sides. Picked by blue. This is Volskaya. All right, well, let's take a look at that, shall we? Game number 2 going to be Volskaya Foundry. It was a selection of Perfect Gems in the regular season. This was won by Perfect Gems. Volskaya Foundry was. And let's see how. Oh, it doesn't show up on Hero's profile. RIP. Well, such is life. So we have no idea how that game went. I'm sure it was a good game. Just making sure that they are on the correct sides, because there's nothing more annoying than that as a caster. It's always fun. You're like, all right, and now Perfect Gems does the wait. That's Archon. Darn it! Ah. Alice is just laying on the ground, and she just gave me the look like, really, like her eyebrow lifted up a little bit, giving me the severe side eye. And welcome to Volskaya. I didn't write down who we had as those bands, darn it. Let's see if I can remember. Chen was one. Chen was for Archon. Perfect Gems. Who did Perfect Gems? Anybody remember who Perfect Gems banned out third in the last game? I didn't write it down. Interesting, a Volibear coming out first here. So it'll be interesting to see how much of the teams remain the same, because certainly a lot of what Perfect Gems had could still work on Volskaya. I don't personally like the Lucio as much here. That's just my thinking, because I find it a lot more difficult to be positioned appropriately for him on Volskaya. But that's just me. I'm sure other people would be like, nah, Luzio's great here. But other than that, I mean, the rest of the team can get a lot of work done here. That said, so can Archon's team. I mean, all of their heroes would be really solid here too. So I expect to see at least some overlap from the teams. I think that overall Archon did, you know, pretty decently there in the early game, and then it just kind of got away from them. So once the Johanna got that pickup in the mid, and it looks like it's going to be Ana Sylvanas along with the Vala and Hanzo. The first pick going to be Johanna, switching sides here, so that's not going over to Perfect Gems this time. And as such, it's going to be ETC. Bring in the Megadeth. We do have the Rainer coming out, so I do wonder if we'll continue to see Rainer's Raider or if we'll see a Hyperion here. Raider providing more team fight, so probably Raider. It's going to be Deathwing and Mephisto now also switching sides. Maybe Deathwing was the ban? Maybe I think Deathwing was the third ban. I'm gonna write that down. Maybe it was wrong, but I just wrote it down, so that's exactly what happened, right? Third ban here for Perfect Gems. We've got a healer and we've got either a solo laner or a damager. The Greymane is an interesting ban. In some ways, I'm surprised they wouldn't have taken the Greymane. All right, last ban of game number 2 of this best of 5 series. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be the Malthael. So 2 heroes that can focus down tanks pretty heavily. Malthael does a lot of work into a melee heavy frontline, but also has the ability to get into the backline if he's, you know, feeling dangerous. And there's Leoric, kind of expected. Leoric does a lot into the Deathwing, so he's also got the Entomb, so you can't unstoppable your way out of an Entomb. Oh, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. Could be. Yeah. Anduin going to be the selection for the healer here. So no Stukov continuing. And what do we got on Typhal? More damage. What's it gonna be? Zeratul. Interesting. So we've got Roots coming out now. Malfurion just got a buff, right? So he's able to throw out the regrowths and get the additional effect on himself. So that's really helpful. And we're gonna go into the Li Ming. I really like the Li Ming. Like, I don't know that I necessarily like it more than the Greymane, but they already had the Rainer, so okay. But Li Ming, I think Li Ming does a lot of damage to Deathwing. Munkus would disagree with me. He would think he says that Li Ming, because of the armor, doesn't do as well. I just think she does, because he's an easy target to hit. She can get continuous orbs out there. She can potentially go Seeker and get even more value. So, and hitting those orbs reduces the cooldown, which means that every time she hits him, it's a faster orb coming back. All right. Vote in chat is active. You can choose which team you think is going to win. Hit the drop down up at the top right of your screen. And it's now available on mobile. Choose who you think is going to win or who you want to win. hit the vote button. If you don't hit the vote button, it doesn't count. Alrighty then, on the left, currently up 1-0 in our best of 5, we've got Perfect Gems. D-Rec playing the ETC, Unaverted on the Rainer. Valimar playing the Leoric, Cpog X on the Li Ming, and it's going to be Legacy playing the Malfurion. We're not going to call out that banned mount. Just saying. Archon, on the other hand, on the right here, wanting to equal up the score. We got Midnight Haze playing the Mephisto. JTR on the Johanna. We got Typhel playing the Zeratul. Fatal Rampage, going to be playing Deathwing, and Little Bex on the Anduin. Interesting to see the... Maybe this seems really weird. Like the box, JTR's health bar, seems like it's very far from his character model. Yeah, there it is. I guess just the way that mount sits seems a little awkward. So we will have to see now how these teams compare with their Johanna Mephisto combination, right? So worked out pretty decently for Perfect Gems in game 1. We'll have to see if Archon can pull off some of those big plays like we saw earlier. ETC is going to get caught on the rotation by Deathwing, but Li Ming here posting up from below so that her arcane orbs and missiles can't be seen until the last moment. Makes it a little bit easier to land on your target if they don't know it's coming. We do have a little bit of a different build here. It's going to be the Skull Missile build for Mephisto. So looking to get those stacks over time. Voting once again 100% in favor of Archon. All one of you. Typhel there throwing out that Singularity Spike. Looking for the ETC. Probably expected that ETC knew he was there. And we've already gotten the fortification camp here for Perfect Gems. So a little bit after this, we're getting Archon to pick up theirs. And up in the top, Perfect Gems already has this support camp down to about 10%. It's just Johanna and Mephisto there. Big power slide coming from ETC, allowing the camp to be picked up there by Rainer, and the support item now going over to D-Rec. You know, I didn't even think about that, but the other big benefit of a Li Ming is if positioned properly, she can pretty much just delete Mephisto. Like, if you position and time your abilities properly, you know exactly where Mephisto's coming back, when he's coming back, and if you're in the right place, I mean, that's a dead Mephisto, especially at 16. So I'm looking forward to seeing if that play ends up working out. Control point A, the middle control point here. Going to be starting in 10 seconds. Both teams have their siege camps on the map. They have their turrets in hand. The Perfect Gems with a slight advantage on the items, as they do have ETC with that biotic emitter. Biotic emitter does 40% healing and mana return over, I believe, 8 seconds. And that's to everybody in that radius. So it's a pretty significant boost to have on your side. And turrets do about, I don't know, 60 or 70 damage per second. So they're not slouches either. Actually, that's probably later in the game, and they're probably like 40-ish at this level. But they still do a lot of work here. And Archon holding on to that point for a while. Perfect Gems able to pick up level 7 and also begin the channel. Deathwing up here dealing with the siege camp that had started. Got a little bit of damage on the wall thanks to these minions, but not tons. Mephisto coming in with his Shade, trying to get a little bit of proc damage. Work on that quest. And again, that level 1 quest for Mephisto will reduce the cooldown. Zeratul, however, getting just beat to hell. Sitting at about 20%, having to leave. And 60% now on the control point. But keep in mind, too, Archon has 2 heroes that are essentially unstoppable. They've got Johanna, they've got Deathwing. So pulling them off of this point without killing them is nearly impossible. You have to get them pretty low before they're interested in vacating the property. But again, Perfect Gems able to hold on to this. It procs into the overtime. ETC able to dodge the singularity spike. So as long as they're on here, it's providing more value to them. They've got Leoric soaking up in the top. They even picked up the turret here, so they've got 2 of those. D-Rec here in a little bit of trouble. There you go. Don't see a whole lot of this one. Crowd Surfer, allowing you to go over walls and terrain. So we were able to see ETC do just that, going over that corner wall, structure, whatever it is. As Archon slowly getting the channel here, but level 10 is not far away for Perfect Gems. And you can bet that they'll push Archon off once they have that level 10. So if Archon's gonna try to do this, they either need to try to get 10 as soon as possible, or they need to try to take the fight before 10. But it's not gonna happen. So level 10's coming up. We got Rainer's Raider there, the Entomb as expected, and JTR kind of doing the same thing, saying, you know what, I'm gonna try to stall this out as long as possible, but they can't do it for very long. Not solo. Wave of Force, Mosh Pit, and you know what, Malfurion hasn't taken his yet, but he'll get around to it. Oh, it's going to be Tranquility, so no silence here. I kind of thought that might be a silence for the Zeratul, but the Rocket Punch there coming from the Protector, throwing JTR into the back, but not quite enough to be able to follow up on that to get the kill. Top lane already prepped pretty decently thanks to the minion wave and the siege camp that was here earlier, but not quite enough damage from the Protector to be able to take out the tower and the well. Legacy in a bit of danger there, gets the Light Bomb Falling Sword combination as Little Bex has a Leoric coming in from behind, and with that, the Entomb blocking him out from being able to safely vacate the premises. And it's going to be ultimately there. Leoric taking out the Anduin. And by the way, that orb by itself did basically 25% of Deathwing's health when he had 3 plates up, 30 armor. So I mean, this level 4 talent, getting that additional cooldown reduction and getting the mana back, like, into Deathwing. I think this Li Ming is a huge pick and provides a ton of value. We also, let's see, what else did we get? We got that Endurance we had in the prior game. We do have Bellowing Roar for Deathwing, so he can use that to interrupt the mosh pit pretty easily, because, you know, what are you going to do? I mean, you can't mosh a dragon. He's just not going to dance. We've got the Void Prison there from Zeratul, and, of course, that Light Bomb that we saw with Johanna early. ETC holding on here as Johanna rotating in, catching him in that aggressive bush, in the just keeping vision out there for the teams here. That was a really ambitious Light Bomb. It was. Power Slide coming in onto Zeratul, but he's going to be able to get out. Leoric by himself has the life drain out, so he's going to be just fine. But pretty much that gives now Perfect Gems a couple of moments to get a little bit of damage here in the top lane, and every little bit helps. It means it's a little bit less they have to do when the siege camp comes up, or the Protector rather. It looks like they might be looking for an Entomb. They get it onto both of the squishy backliners here. The root going out onto Anduin. Light Bomb is going to protect him for a moment. It's going to be Anduin falling along with the Falling Sword coming in. Here comes Cataclysm. Johanna having to pull back. Leoric still up in the team, is taking some of the tower shots as Fatal Rampage just right up in the thick of things. But the Biotic Emitter is coming down, and we do have Leoric using the Spooky Walk with Ominous Wraith to reduce the potential damage here of Archon. D-Rec falling pretty low here, only a couple more attacks, he's going to be in danger, but it's Johanna falling first, Mephisto getting chased down, and Deathwing right at the line, can't make it over his wall, and that's going to be 4 overall kills in that for Perfect Gems. Level 13 is coming up here soon for Archon, so they're looking for that boost of power to put them on that same talent tier. At least before Perfect Gems can get their 16. That's probably the most important goal here, as Control Point B is beginning. And they do have all their ultimates on the side of Archon here, so setting up the play maybe with a Void Prison to go into the Durance might be the thing that they're looking for here. Level 16's coming up soon for Perfect Gems, so trying to get any advantage they can possibly get. Archon's going to come down onto the turret camp, as is Perfect Gems. So both of these teams will have their items with them. Let's check in to see if we got anything else. Well, Leoric's just gonna go ahead and bring Deathwing casually down 25% with one spell, basically. So Raynor's got the one turret. Okay, so 2 turrets for Perfect Gems. It's gonna be Johanna with the one, and I think that's it. That is it. But now support camp's being picked up here, and with that 16 advantage, it's a little bit of a dangerous play, and we might see Zeratul fall for that. We do. It happens. Deathwing isn't about that dancing life, right? One of these days, you know, they're gonna have Deathwing on Dancing with the Stars, and he's gonna get voted out on the first round. Do they vote out on the first? I don't even know what the Dancing with the Stars does. ETC does have that mosh pit, by the way. Hasn't used it yet. Mostly, I imagine, because of the Deathwing, right? I mean, as long as Deathwing's up, it's pretty much just a deterrent to ETC being able to mosh. We do have Raynor and ETC in the point there, so it's Li Ming and Malfurion hanging out outside. There goes the Void Prison, looking for that light bomb. They don't get it onto the Malfurion, but they're continuing to chase Zeratul and Johanna. Here comes the Deathwing. Zeratul, though, getting just chunked so far down. Malfurion's actually going to finish the kill. ETC's coming in, looking for now Johanna, but Cataclysm is getting Deathwing out. Can they get the kill onto Anduin? And they do. Li Ming hitting that with the Wave of Force. The Horrify coming out, so if ETC was paying attention, he's got the opportunity now, and he's out of the mech. So there's only the two, the Johanna and Mephisto. But if they can get a lockdown after getting this keep, like if he can get a stun onto Johanna and get that Mephisto in there, it's just game over. Looks like they're going to continue on to the core. Here comes the Mosh onto the Mephisto. So one of the big damages gone from the map. Now Johanna getting targeted. She's going to use her Falling Sword to go in and just stun, but really I feel like that was just kind of inting. Probably could have used that Falling Sword to get out. The root coming out onto Zeratul. This play has been A+ out of Perfect Gems. Absolutely clutch as they are working on the core here. Deathwing going in, trying to stall out whatever he can, but he's just another death target. Just another counter, as Perfect Gems taking a flawless victory, 13 kills to 0 over Archon on Volskaya Foundry. And as mentioned, that was Perfect Gems map selection, and they played it well. They played it real well. The Malfurion play, like the number of times that they were able to lock down the Zeratul was amazing. Keeping those roots there, forcing Zeratul when he wanted to come in to find himself coming into a root and ultimately unable to leave. $151k siege damage there from Leoric. Not a long game. 151k is a lot of siege damage. Now some of that likely came from the Protector. I think he was in it at the end, but I mean mostly that's just Leoric hanging out doing Neil Peasants things. cleaning up those lanes while the rest of his team was having fun elsewhere. All right, let's give them their part. They've earned it. All right, this is a best of 5 series, so the next game, Archon's got to pull it out. They've got to find something in their reserve that will allow them to continue on, to push back against this Perfect Gems team. And will we get to see the Perfect Gems Deckard? I don't know. We'll have to find out. We're going to take a quick break. Be right back.
There is much for us to settle.
All right, we are back, and it looks like our teams are all set and ready to go. You love to see it again. Fixing portraits, fair enough. All right, where are we going? We are going to Dragonshire. So this was another map that they played in the regular season. This was the selection of Perfect Gems. And in the regular season, this one was won by Archon. Let's see if this one has a replay. It does. So that was, let's see. Archon here played the Uther. Sorry, put you on the right page. They played Uther, Alarak, Phoenix, Stukov, and Rexar. Keeping in mind, of course, that this was back in December. Perfect Gems played Stitches, Zagara, Sylvanas, Anduin, and Zeratul. It was at 22 kills for Perfect Gems to 19 kills for Archon. Archon winning that game. So there you go. Anybody that didn't die again? No, it was pretty even. So there you go. All right. We're going to see the Ana ban out. So Ana's just been, you can't have her, basically, is what Perfect Gems is saying. We're going to see the Morales ban as well as the Cho. And it's going to be Johanna. So they're not going to ban out the Gaul this time. That's what it... I already wrote that down, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Never mind. It's going to be Rexar, the first pick for Fatal Rampage. Rexar did pretty decently in game number 1. Had some good moments. Dragonshire, pretty much Rexar's best map, arguably, between this and Braxis. Gonna be the Anubarak and Malfurion. Now, interestingly enough, it's a change on who's showing these heroes. So Unaverted went from DPS to tank, and Malfurion was in the previous games DPS. So maybe we'll see some heroes switch, who knows? As we got Garrosh and Raynor, and I like the Garrosh here as well. A lot of bushes to hide in. So if you ever don't check a bush, that's going to be the one where Garrosh is waiting for you. In case you were wondering, it's always that bush that you don't check. If you don't believe me, just ask Trixler. and Kaldor. Lucio going to be the third and final ban from Perfect Gems. They don't want to give that speed boost over to Garrosh. I wonder if they'll take something like a Zarya. I mean, probably not, right? Right? Would they go into this hyper carry Rainer? Maybe they would. Maybe they would. Would give them that speed boost for Garrosh. Genji gonna be the pick here, so probably gonna have somebody that's a little bit less mobile in the back line there. Coming up with some DPS, maybe an offlaner for Perfect Gems. It's going to be Vala Falstad. So Falstad going to be able to zip around the map here. And Vala's a little surprising in general, but not that surprising. She does a lot of damage, can really do a lot of damage into Garrosh. Doesn't quite have the range to keep up with Raynor. She's going to need some protection, and I don't feel like Malfurion's enough. So I'm kind of expecting to see the Urel here. So there's that Greymane that was mentioned earlier for Tythel. We also got the Stukov. So once again, the Garrosh Stukov combination. But again, I mean, the only lockdown is the Rexar, so it's pretty much Garrosh throw into the stun. All right. So, okay. So a bunch of squish heroes with a squish tank into auto attacks. It's gonna be all about Illidan's ability to keep camp pressure on the map. I gotta say, I'm not feeling Perfect Gems draft. That said, they all have ways to get away from Garrosh. Every single one of those squishies, except Malfurion, and technically Malfurion if you consider his root, has a way to just be like, nope, I'm out of here. So I gotta say, I'm personally thinking that Archon wins this one, but we'll see. They've got to execute. They've got to make it happen. So let's get it up. The poll is posted there in chat for you. Game is all set up and ready to go. We hear the choo-choos as they are mounting their mounts here in the zone. Well, I gotta showcase them here. All right, that's enough. All right, so over here for Perfect Gems, currently up 2-0. We've got let me make sure that we've got the people on the right heroes, right? Direk is on Illidan. We've got Unaverted playing the Anubrak. We've got Cpog on the Malfurion. Legacy playing Falstad, and Valimar on the Vala. Over here for Archon on the right, it's going to be Tythel on Greymane. Midnight Haze playing the Raynor. JTR on the Garrosh. Fatal Rampage on the Rexar, and Little Bex on Stukov. Many similar talents to what we've seen earlier in this match so far. It's going to be the Nerubian armor there for the additional spell power for spell armor, I guess. More appropriate to say for the Anubrak. And Vala going to get flipped, but did not get stunned. So she was able to go ahead and use that vault to get out. For these other heroes, we've got Falstad going into Wingman. We've got Hot Pursuit for Vala. And of course, for Illidan, it's going to be Battered Assault. Poll is just about to end. I'm interested to see no votes. All right, you guys are just not voting tonight. Just don't believe in these teams. You're like, whatever. Somebody's going to win. One of the two teams will win. The other team will not win. Garrosh looking for the Vala. Gonna miss on that, whatever it was, the Groundbreaker, but gonna get caught by this stun from Anubrak. And with the positive side for Perfect Gems is that if they do have the opportunity to actually just sit on somebody. They've got a lot of damage. And the first Dragon Knight is coming up here. We're going to see Unaverted diving in after the Greymane. But he doesn't have any damage here to follow up. Raynor and Greymane both sitting on the camp. Malfurion coming over here just to, you know, just to poke. Just say, hey, what's up? I got a root. You can't catch me. Vala going into the Hungering Arrow build. They could both forfeit. Oh, you know what? That's a good point, right? They could just, everybody could alt F4. That is a thing that could take place. I don't think that it will, but it could happen. All right, Siege Giant getting thrown in so that it dies a little bit faster. The root coming out has the broccoli. Greymane gonna be killed up up top here, I think it was. Where did Greymane? Oh, Greymane was in mid. Sorry about that. Was too busy watching the show down in the bot lane here. Illidan about half health there. Rexar doing just fine. He's going to be able to maintain that pressure up in the top. But still, nobody in the mid lane to be able to pick up the Dragon Knight. Falstad playing goalie, essentially, to make sure nobody can get there. And of course, D-Rec, you know, going to have a difficult time trying to pick this up from the Rexar-Misha combo. And Anubrak coming in here, once again, maybe looking for that kill. Try to keep an eye on that while these guys down here in the bot lane have a little bit of fun time as well. But they have to, I mean, Greymane has to know that Anubrak's, yeah, there's the assist ping. There's the throw from Garrosh. It's going to use that Indomitable to go ahead and get out of there. That's going to leave bot lane exposed. And it's going to flip over here. Maybe, maybe not. All right. Midnight Haze in the double digits, almost single digits there. Thanks to that Hungering Arrow. And I think that if that was a level, crap. If that was a completed Hungering Arrow quest, that would have been a dead Raynor there. Top lane going to switch over now with the 3-man rotation. And in the mid, Greymane holding on for a moment here. Should be able to stall out the Anubrak. But Falstad's rotating down, and they need to be able to get this. Garrosh is going to go ahead and throw the Malfurion in, and the silence coming out is going to get that kill. Vala, however, putting in the work, has both Raynor and Garrosh very low. Using that Hungering Arrow, gets the kill onto Raynor. Nearly the kill onto Garrosh as well. But now she's going to get thrown. Vala's trying to make it out, able to get out of the silence. The Groundbreaker not quite there, but that into the fray used to get the Stukov to land on the Vala. And it's so rare that you see into the fray used to throw somebody into the fray. Falstad is in the middle here, is going to be able to catch this. Anubrak almost catching the Greymane as well. And JTR missing there with grabbing that minion. But Malfurion's here. He's got this. He's in the bot lane picking up the shrine so that they don't lose that Dragon Knight. D-Rec holding on to this against the Misha and Rexar as well here up top. So gonna flip it over to the red side in the bot lane. Once again, Misha gonna pick it up in the top. So we'll see if Anubrak once again chooses to hang out there, see if he can't pick off the Greymane. But Siege Camp is picked up by Perfect Gem, so they're going to be sending that out into this bot lane. And Garrosh potentially looks like maybe he's just trying to get his Groundbreaker stacks there, the Warbreaker level 1. However, with level 10s coming up, we're going to get the Malfurion thrown in, the Twilight Dream this time, as Garrosh trying to make it out, uses Unstoppable, but not able to hit the Bloodthirst. We get the stun, double stun rather, onto Raynor. Not quite able to get there. So a double kill as, you know what, Illidan just says, hey, I can jump over walls. We're good. Falstad now trying to rotate up to get the top shrine once again. Rexar able to flip that so that Perfect Gems could not pick up the Dragon Knight. So bot lane pressure here is beginning to mount. The wall already down. Greymane is going to get caught by the Hunt, and taken out there. Massive shove, just not quite able to land onto the Illidan. Illidan thrown in, but there's a minion wave, so he just doesn't care. Stukov has no mana, so pretty much in a no-win situation as the blue Dragon Knight is being prepared. Illidan gonna be taunted, but again, auto-attacking Illidan doesn't mind too much here. Falstad gonna get the kill onto Rexxar thanks to the Anubrak rotation, but this bottom fort rather is just about to go down, and Anubrak heading into the mid should be able to pick up the Dragon Knight. And Falstad, making use there of bribe stacks, is going to be able to pick up the top bruiser camp. We also have this siege camp still going, and here comes the Dragon Knight looking for this bottom wall. We're 7 minutes 15 seconds into this, so this Dragon Knight is starting to do some decent damage, but have to be a little bit careful. They've got just a minimal amount of wave here. Cpog X taking a load of damage on the Malfurion, and Vala there as well. So I mean, two heroes that don't have tons of health, but there's not really much that Archon's been able to do here about it. Falstad continuing to pressure top, Illidan pressuring mid lane here. We'll see. Rexxar's just going to come up and clear this out. I don't think that he's able to catch on to that Falstad, so we'll come back down and watch this. So the fort still all the way down. Top fort nearly down. Got one tower and part of this wall. And here comes the hunt onto Rexxar. They do have the Falstad, but the Falstad is taking tower shots here. Fatal Rampage was trying to get the kill onto Falstad, but just not quite able to get enough. And Garrosh is going to fall to the Vala in the mid. And Vala doesn't have Manticore yet. At 16, this gets a lot more difficult for Garrosh. This is a bit of a clock here for Archon. They've got to find some way to make these engagements not just turn so heavily against them. And they're not going to do it like that. Raynor falling, Greymane rather, going into the cocoon. And the massive shove is going to push Anubrak back. That ultimately saved Greymane, because if not, I think that Greymane's toast there. He moved out of the way so that he didn't get rooted, so that he didn't get the immediate impale there, but still a very difficult position for Archon to be in right now. And with this siege camp, we're going to see a little bit of pressure coming in onto the bottom fort. Groundbreaker thrown out there, as was the root, as I think Malfurion was expecting the Garrosh to keep coming in. Misha's going to catch the Anubrak there in the bush, and Vala's going to come up and try to help out with this. JTR having to pull back, but now Raynor is in a rough spot, gets caught by, or thrown rather, by Garrosh, who's going to be taken out. Direk coming in. Stukov's going to fall, but Direk will fall on the Illidan as well. So a 2-for-1 trade, but there's still a minion wave and a siege camp, and now a catapult joining the fray here, as just a little bit off on that timing on Raynor, but it didn't matter. You've got Falstad, he pushes W, and Raynor just dies. And this is starting to echo a little bit of these last couple games where they were able to pick down an early keep and then look for a core. But it's going to be really tough when your heroes are brought half by a single round of abilities from one player. That said, the Dragon Knight would certainly help them in this. They've got a Falstad who can fly, especially now that Misha's down. That's a little bit more difficult for your Rexxar to defend. So Falstad can fly. Illidan is going up into the top. Does not have Hunt yet. I believe Falstad has Fly. Let's take a quick look. He does. And he's going to bribe once again, just like we've seen in the other maps here. We saw it on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's a little different for Volskaya, but we're going to see them picking up the siege camp here in time with the Dragon Knight. And because of that, Dragon Knight's going to go mid. They recognize that the siege camp will push that up in the bot lane eventually there. Boar's coming out. We have the AoE taunt. Silence was interrupted there because of that taunt, so good on Garrosh. They ultimately able to pick up the kill onto Malfurion. The Dragon Knight punting back the Greymane, and Massive Shove is going to push back the Illidan as well. He does not have Hunt that was used earlier, So with that kill onto Malfurion, this is a much more dangerous proposition for Perfect Gems. So they're going to go ahead and pull back. They've got 30 seconds left and 50% of the health on the Dragon Knight. Anubrak does have the capability to get out, but I don't know. I mean, there's also a Stukov silence. There's Garrosh, who's going to have taunt fairly soon. The knockback might just very well save Anubrak. I think he's waiting for that silence to try to get out, but wasn't able to juke it when it finally came out, and ultimately leads to his death. But they do get the keep out of it, so hashtag worth. And at the moment, Perfect Gems has entire control of this game. They've gotten all of the structure value, and they're going to continue it. Going up into the top lane, they have no Anubrak, but they've got a lot of damage. They've got the mobility. But this is a bit of a dangerous place. Having the Bruiser camp is helpful, getting that 20 spell armor. But now, with this camp going in the bot lane here, the Death Bridge now fully online. There's not... like, Boars is available, so they can slow everybody. I think that's what they're going to be looking for. There are the Boars. There's Garrosh going in looking for the throw. Can't quite get it. Malfurion going to get that silence out onto Rexxar and Misha. But the Mighty Gust going to be the disengage tool here. And the root with the broccoli. Just zoning there. We're going to see Greymane getting thrown in. I don't think Greymane really wanted to go there. Gets the hunt in on him and is now pulling back. The taunt going out just onto one. And Illidan pulling back. Feign Death used on Rexxar, trying to stay alive. Sending out Misha to try to catch the rest of the team. And you know what? I mean, Perfect Gems played that really well. On the Death Bridge. I haven't shown these talents in a while. I'll put those back up. On the Death Bridge and able to use their disengage tools like the Mighty Gust, using that entangling roots as well to provide some zone defense and make sure that their heroes were able to make it out safely. And in the Delta, we're going to see the throw onto the Illidan, and that's what they're looking for. That quick blow up with the full team to lock down a hero and send them dead to the graveyard. And that had to be quick. Illidan got a boost in health, not a lot. I think his base went up to like 16 or 1700. So having that boost in health certainly helps him in the 1v1 scenario, but it doesn't help very much when you're already a relatively low health hit point target and they get a couple of stuns and silences on you so you can't get out of dodge. Mighty Gust used there just to keep Archon away. And this, they've got essentially a power play for 24 seconds. Need to find their way to get this Dragon Knight. And right now, it's not looking like they're really in a position to be able to do it. They'll be able to pick up the bottom shrine. But unless their entire team comes into the mid lane, they don't really have any way to do that. And with level 20s coming up from Perfect Gems, this is where it starts to turn into a death ball scenario at this point. Because Perfect Gems, yeah, they'll take a Dragon Knight, but they don't necessarily need to have the Dragon Knight to get things started. Boars went out, and never mind. They're going to get the Dragon Knight, but lose Malfurion in the process. And we'll see what takes place now. With Malfurion dead for 60 seconds, yeah, Anubrak's like, well, rip, I guess I'm just going to hang out. And Falstad might get a staggered death, but no, the Mighty Gust with the Wind Tunnel is going to just barely save him. Bot lane is keeping pressure up. They've got a couple catapults going here. And so with the bulk of the team moving down to clear that up, we've got the Dragon Knight coming in to get some more structure damage. Garrosh is going to get punted away. Vala, however, is very low. Misha not quite able to get the stun, and Vala's going to get taken out there by Raynor. Greymane getting thrown once again in, but this time he's going to get punted out. Stukov going to be able to take the Illidan out here. And this just keeps getting worse for Perfect Gems after they picked up their Dragon Knight here. Anubrak just kind of... I'm going to turn on chat. Anything? Wow, he shot me. That was the first thing that we saw in the game there when they were doing their choo-choos. So, yeah. Just wasn't sure if maybe the teams had started talking to each other. But level 20 is now online for both teams. Archon doing really well. Getting that pick onto the Malfurion early really set them up for this. Cursed Bullet is now down for 30 seconds, as we did see Greymane go into that Hunter's Blunderbuss for that splash damage. Gonna get the stun out onto Garrosh, recognizing that Garrosh is likely in that bush. And again, keep in mind, no Vala, no Illidan for another few seconds here. Falstad pushing up the top lane. And top lane is not super important, but you know what? If you get a team wipe and you're in the upper half of the map, you may as well take the easy route, right? Garrosh coming in, looking for that siege. Sees the Anubarak here. Greymane also scouting this out, while Rexxar coming up, pushing off the Falstad. But which of these camps is going to end up being the problem here? We see the hunt coming in on Rexxar. He's got the Feigned Death. He's calling for the assists. Needs his team here to help out. Falstad going to get the bribes. The stun going out onto the Illidan, but the wind tunnel might just be enough to save him. And meanwhile, Garrosh down here gets picked off by the Vala. Anubarak diving in onto the Greymane. So again, no Garrosh, so this is a very dangerous position with the camps coming up here, the shrines. Now, this is a little dangerous for Perfect Gems, but not that big of a deal. They still have their full wall here. Falstad's going to be able to rotate down and pick that up. Ultimately, that's really good for Archon. Having that pressure means that Perfect Gems is not pushing in on their structures or even potentially going to try to end core. 10 seconds away until Mighty Gust. Can Rexxar stall this out? Has the Misha, but ultimately they're going to get distracted by the Anubarak, and Illidan's going to make it into the Dragon Knight. And at 18 minutes, can this Dragon Knight finish the game for them? They've got their full squad up. It's Illidan and the Dragon Knight, which means they've got a little bit more CC potential coming out from the Anubarak. They have the Cocoon, for example. And they're looking for it. They're coming into the bot lane. Falstad is nearby with Fly. There's the punt looking for the Garrosh, but baiting out the Unstoppable means that the root lands. The Twilight Dream knocks out the Garrosh. Misha also going to fall here in a moment. The Cocoon going out onto Stukov. Raynor trying to get the Falstad, does. And Greymane working on the Dragon Knight. Has the Dragon Knight to about 60%, falling under 50% now. The punt going out onto Stukov. And the Dragon Knight is falling very quickly between Greymane and Raynor. So I don't know if they're going to be able to core here. They lost their Falstad, but there's no Garrosh. Even with the power of Illidan, especially if Illidan falls here, he's so extremely low. One more hit and he's taken out. Volag's going to be the first one, though. Boars are not up, so there's no heroic that they can use that far away. Greymane getting the dive onto Anubarak. Seapog X going to fall as well, and it's only Illidan left. Can they make this work? Do they have enough time to be able to push up the bot lane, get this keep down, and go core? I don't know if they can. Welcome everybody from Mark Zombie's stream. I hope the Div A matchup there was exciting, and as exciting as this game is turning out to be, as Archon showing signs of life. And there you go. It's gonna be the wall here. 30 seconds until Malfurion, 25 seconds for Anubarak. They've got Raynor, they've got Greymane, but the wind tunnel's slowing them down. And using Misha to tank the keep here. Can they do this? Can they make it? They've got Garrosh coming in. Falstad is going to pick up the siege camp in behind, so that'll stall out the minion waves. But there's just not enough time for them to get onto the core. So they're instead going to move over, get the siege camp, clear that up, and then ultimately reset and try to look for that one more fight in their favor. Both teams now have their path to victory through the bot lane, and just need to find the right time, the right fight to make that work. If Garrosh can get a big taunt, if we can get some solid roots out of the boars, Archon can send this to game number 4. They can keep their playoff dreams alive. But this is the dangerous part right here. We've got 4 so far. There's the bush check, the curse bullet going out, the taunt going on to Illidan. He's gonna come out of it. Unstoppable used to prevent the silence. Cocoon going out onto the Garrosh. The wind tunnel knocking him into the corner. And is it enough? Stukov and Malfurion both down. Greymane and Illidan both going down as well. Next, the Raynor. Vala so very low. The throw coming out from Garrosh is going to get the stun, and Falstad will fall. But they're going to get the counter engage back in onto the Garrosh. And it's just Rexxar against Vala and Anubarak. And Vala's very low, but it might not matter. The double stun coming in onto the Rexxar. But the core is now under attack. The Bruiser camp making its way. Anubarak doing what he can to try to stall this out. Keep Rexxar from getting there. And with that stun, Vala's kind of just hanging out. It looks like Rexxar will fall. And so the Bruiser camp taken out there by the core, by the catapult. Vala's going to slowly rotate up. And this has a little bit of the echoes of the earlier game where we... on Tomb of the Spider Queen, where we had the team fight and then we had to wait around for a minute for the the end of the game. So we shall see. Dragon Knight is up. Perfect Gems has their full squad with Anubarak in the Dragon Knight, so no Cocoon. Everybody except for Rexxar is here, so about as good as you can hope for Archon. Falstad's coming up in the mid lane. Malfurion pushing up this bot lane. What is Malfurion doing? I'm not entirely sure about this one, Chief. The stun going out onto Vala. Gonna get the wind tunnel, but Vala's gonna get thrown back. Not gonna be taken out. It is actually Garrosh. So basically, you know what? Seapog just said, hey, come get me. It's going to be the hunt in onto the Greymane, and he's going to fall. And now making their way onto the core is Perfect Gems. They have the Dragon Knight, and it is just destroying this core. Rexxar tried to put the pressure onto Malfurion, but it's not going to matter. Game number 3 and the series going over to Perfect Gems. All right, best of 5 series, 3-0 in favor of Perfect Gems. They will advance on to the finals. This was the semifinals. All right, we will try to see if we can't get a interview here real quick. Reach out to the right person here. It was a close 3-0. Well, while we wait to hear back from Perfect Gems here, let's give them their points, and let's take a quick peek at the bracket here. Hit that update button. There we go. So Perfect Gems will advance on to the finals, and you know what? They're coming in to play against whichever team wins the next game where we're about to go, which is Anti-Clown Association versus Regen. And it looks like we're gonna get Seapog to join us.
Hello, hello.
Hello and welcome. So it's been a while since we've been in this lobby. What, a couple weeks maybe?
Yeah, a couple weeks, yeah.
So congratulations, and you guys are going to the finals. How does it feel?
Feels like I'm going to Disney World.
Going to Disney World? What? got to be an
Feels
awesome
good.
feeling, right?
Yeah, that was a fun series.
So for those of you who are not familiar, this is CPOG X or CPX, or what's that place that you always talk about? Is it FreePX?
Free PX.
On Twitch, right?
/FreePX.
Yeah, there you go. So
Damn, you made me use my shout out before it even happened. That was big brain.
It's all right. It's all right. So I don't want to talk too much about the individual gameplay, right? We're going into the finals. I want to talk a little bit about your team, what we can expect and things like that. So, tell me about Perfect Gems and why you guys are the #1 team in Heroic Division and NGS. How did you get here? And yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Let's talk about it.
We started a few weeks ago. Just a band of scallywags who gathered around Valamar's amazing Deckard play, but then we had to swap him to offlane because Legacy also plays support, and then I also play support too. So we have a lot of supports on our team. So we kind of, split up the roles. We've just been grinding,
Sure.
Yeah. Sorry, that was not a very coherent answer.
It's all right. It works out. It tells us a little bit about the team. And I'm going to break what I just said real quickly, because since you brought up your support play and you were just playing a little bit of Malfurion there, at the end of that game, I mean, it was totally a bait, right?
Like level 20 or when Valamar ran me into the bush?
I'm talking about when you decide you're going to go 1v1 the core.
Oh, okay. So we were like, okay, we got the DK, let's go kill the core. And Unaverted decided to like mess around on mid keep, and I was like, all right, screw it, I'm going to the core. So I did, that wasn't like, so I just started running to the core, but then they started running at me. Fortunately, I'm Malf God, so I hit a fat root. Then we came in with the aerial support with the gust, hit a Twilight Dream, boom, boom, pow, end of the game.
And it looked a little bit scary. You guys had some scary moments tonight where in game 1 you thought you were going to end, you didn't. They thought they were going to end, they didn't. And then even here in this last game, it almost looked kind of the same thing where like you guys were ready to go to core, but then had some deaths. They ended up, I do have to say the mighty gust there, or rather the wind tunnel, the delays, like really allowed you guys to win that game, right? Because otherwise they might have been able to get on the core, and who knows what would have happened.
Yeah, I mean, Legacy watches my stream, so he's taken a few notes on how to play Falstad.
There you go.
Mainly how to use the level 20 gusts.
Awesome. Well, I have to say that bottom bruiser camp.
Oh, that Moonfire was Pog!
That Moonfire saved the day, and then Falstad comes in with the wind tunnel and just sets it up. The rest of that fight turns into just a giant cluster, but it was such like if you don't Moonfire that bush, it's game over.
Yeah, we probably all lose.
So
yeah, honestly, I was just like, I haven't seen them in a while. Like, I'm just gonna Moonfire this bush because like they've been off the map for too long,
Yep.
And lucky guess, they were right there.
So coming up literally right now, they're actually waiting on me because I'm gonna go cast with Murda. Is the game for your next opponents, ACA and Regen. What are your thoughts? Is there one team you'd rather play against than the other coming out of that?
I mean, I would definitely rather play Regen, just because in Div S, so we last week we 3-0'd ACA in Div S. But 2 weeks before that, we lost in Div S, since they did their roster swap, we lost to Regen 3-2. So I want the grudge match.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up so that everybody can go watch Heroic semifinals number 2. Any particular shout outs you'd like to make?
Yeah, I've got a long list of shout outs. Twitch.tv/FreePX.
All right. Well, glad that you could join us. Good luck to your team in the rest of the playoffs. You've only got one match left to go, so I hope it goes well for you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
See ya.
Thanks. All right, everybody, that's it for this stream, but don't go anywhere because I'm going to send you right over to Murda, where we're going to watch Anti-Clown Association, the number 2 seed, versus Regen, the number 3 seed. And this is going to be an absolutely fantastic match to watch. ACA has taken the last 2 matches against Regen. They defeated them in Div S 3-2, an unfortunate loss. If you watched that match, you know that was some unfortunate circumstances. And in NGS, if I remember correctly, 2-1. So, you know, very close matches. These have not been blowouts one way or the other. And Regen, much like Perfect Gems just mentioned about Regen's looking for this opportunity. So it's going to be an interesting match. Looking forward to casting it. And thanks again for everybody stopping by. And for Mark Zombie for the big raid. And everybody, we're going over to Murda Stream.